Can you believe it's been 25 years since this film that wasn't well received by the critics came out? What happens when a loser of a security guard is involved in a horrible car accident but is brought back to life by a deranged scientist as half man, half animal, and makes him more of a hero in a way? But he wasn't much of a man, and now he's not much of an animal. Strap yourselves in as I review The Animal. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome again to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. I'm the Big D, and this time around, I bring to you a review of the 2001 comedy flick The Animal, released by Columbia for Revolution Studios, directed by Luke Greenfield, and written by Tom Brady and Rob Schneider, from a story conceived by Brady, starring Schneider in the lead role, along with Colleen Haskell, John C. McGinley, Torry, and Edward Asner, with supporting roles from Michael Caton and Louis Lombardi. Now, the film depicts a police station evidence clerk. Well, I'd say he's a security guard, but well, it's close enough. But whatever. Who is critically injured and is put back together by a mad scientist who transplants animal parts, resulting in strange animalistic changes to his behavior. The film was released on this day, June 1st, 2001. Henceforth, today is the film's 25th anniversary. While it may have received unfavorable reviews, the film did decent enough. This being the second film to be released by Joe Roth's Revolution Studios after releasing Tomcats earlier that same year. Produced by them along with Adam Sandler's Happy Madison Productions. Let's get into the story. Marvin Mange is an evidence clerk at the local Elkerton police precinct who dreams of becoming an officer like his late father. However, despite physically training as a result of his medical conditions, he repeatedly fails the physical examination. Marvin receives little respect from the populace and is especially tormented by Sergeant Doug Sisk. He is smitten with environmentalist Rihanna Holmes, but fumbles on a first encounter with her. While alone at the station, Marvin receives an emergency call. With no officers available, he responds himself. While on the way, he drives off a cliff and is grievously injured. However, he's rescued by a mad scientist known as Dr. Wilder, who saves his life by replacing his damaged body parts with animal organs. Days later, Marvin, unaware of what happened, resumes his normal life but discovers that he can now perform extraordinary physical feats. His medical health no longer an issue and possesses keen animal-like instincts. While visiting his friend Miles at an airport, Marvin sniffs out and apprehends a man attempting to smuggle drugs in his rectum. Ooh. The event garners positive media attention, so he is promoted to full-fledged police officer assigned under Sisk. Over several days, Marvin awakens from bouts of sleepwalking, hearing subsequent reports of attacks in the night being attributed to a savage beast. Wilder introduces himself to Marvin, cautioning him that while the operation improved him, it also resulted in strong animalistic urges as a side effect. Despite continued predicaments and embarrassments caused by his instinctual animal behaviors, Marvin's abilities allow him to excel as an officer and bond with Rihanna. However, Marvin is questioned after a brutal attack on a cow. A police sketch implicates Marvin as the culprit, and Marvin is subsequently placed on leave. Afraid of what he has become, Marvin barricades himself in his home. Rihanna arrives to comfort him, and the two spend the night together. The following morning, the police raid Marvin's home when they suspect him of mauling a hunter. Marvin escapes and flees into the woods. An armed mob headed by Sisk is formed, while Marvin's friends, Miles and Fatty, seek to warn him. Marvin encounters Wilder, who confides the existence of another patient who had undergone the same procedure. He suspects the other patient is the real culprit. Now for the ending. As always, you know the procedure. You have 5 seconds to stop this video at once. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below. As I start counting down now, if you've seen this movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. Sisk's lone pursuit of Marvin results in a near fatal fall into a chasm, but he is saved by the latter. Despite this, Sisk holds him at gunpoint, but he is suddenly attacked by Rihanna, revealed to be Wilder's other patient. Rihanna confesses that she was responsible for the Hunter attack, justifying her actions in protecting an orphaned turkey vulture she reared and released back into the wild. The mob arrives threatening to kill Marvin. Miles makes a false confession to being the beast to protect Marvin and Rihanna. Due to the racial implications in prosecuting Miles, a black American, the mob lets him go and leave, much to Miles' annoyance. 1 year later, Marvin and Rihanna have married, starting a family and opening an animal sanctuary. While watching TV, they witness Dr. Wilder being awarded the Nobel Prize for his transplantation procedure. End of story. Yeah, sorry for the moment of silence, everyone. All right, so what did I think of the animal? Now I've seen it a few times. I gotta say this film's absolutely bonkers, but it's pretty hilarious at times and what have you. And I do appreciate for what it has to offer. It was just so crazy when I first saw it. But anyway, it was just wow. I mean, I really liked Rob Schneider's performance. Of course, this being one of his few achievements to be doing something on his own outside of doing stuff with Adam Sandler. I mean, after he recently had already done a few films in the lead role, like Deuce Bigelow, Male Gigolo, which I haven't seen in a while. I definitely need to review that sometime down the road. Anyway, yeah. But I feel like this film's just kind of misunderstood in ways. But hey, you want to take my word for it. You be the judge. The reviews were just completely unfavorable. It sits at 30% on Rotten Tomatoes, where they say while less offensive and more charming than recent gross humored comedies, this film is still rather mediocre. Well, it's understandable, but even so, it's pretty comical. Metacritic has a score of 43, and Audiences Poll by Cinema Score gave us a B+. The LA Times' Kevin Thomas called it an outrageous and imaginative summer comedy, while Robert Kohler of Variety wrote, "The film is never more nor less than stupid, but stupid in ways that deliver goofiness rather than rampant humiliation." Pierre Travers of Rolling Stone, however, described it as an Adam Sandler reject and wondered how this raunchy innuendo wrapped in a PG-13 rating got past the censors. Well, that again, I'm understanding, but it still proved to be funny. I mean, with Schneider's character now got an animal parts in him, that's crazy. That was really something, especially when he finds out from the doctor himself. Anyway, despite the mostly negative critical reception at the time of the film's release, David Manning, film critic, himself gave the film critical praise. In late 2001, Manning was revealed to be a fictitious character created by Sony to fake publicity for the film. At the time, Sony claimed that the error was due to a layout artist who entered dummy text into print advertisements during their design, which was accidentally never replaced with real text. But anyway, the film opened in third place when opening, losing to Shrek and Pearl Harbor. While despite the negativity, the film did become a bit of a success, going on to make 84 million worldwide on its 22 to 47 million dollar budget. But I will say it's pretty funny and what have you. So this is just so crazy. There is plans for a sequel. In October 2022, it was announced that a sequel is now in development. In addition to reprising his role from this film, Rob Schneider will also serve as director and use a script that he co-wrote with his wife Patricia and Jamie Lissow. Schneider will also serve as a producer on the film alongside Michael McCollum. This will be a joint venture production between Content Partners and Revolution Studios, along with Zero Gravity Management and Fox's Mar Vista Entertainment and Tubi themselves. It's intended to be released via streaming as an exclusive Tubi film, as the project was greenlit by the Associated Film Studios. We don't exactly have a date for it yet, but stick around. We'll see what happens. But anyway, this film's again bonkers. Tay Katsulushi does the score for the film, which is pretty good. For the cast, we have Rob Schneider taking on the role of Marvin Mange. And I gotta say, he's absolutely crazy and what have you. Very funny. For Rihanna, she's played by former Survivor castaway Colleen Haskell. And I must admit, she does an exceptionally good job, especially when Marvin hits our times, especially when they're at the restaurant. That was absolutely, really darn hilarious. Sergeant Sisk is played by John C. McGinley. After he had appeared in numerous films that included Point Break, Wall Street, Platoon, The Rock, and Office Space. He does a pretty darn good job as this character. Edward Asner plays Chief Wilson. Of course, you know him. May he rest in peace. Of the Mary Tyler Moore Show as Lou Grant, and of course his own show of the same name. Very good performance. Michael Caton plays Dr. Wilder. I gotta say, he's pretty funny. But I got to say, he had a really good performance in this and what have you. Definitely. But this is the only film I know him by because he's an Australian actor. A lot of the films he's been in, I'm not familiar with. And Louis Lombardi plays Fatty, a fellow police cadet at the police department. Very good. And Guy Torry as Miles. Really something. But I've got to say, he's pretty funny in what have you. Actually, Adam Sandler actually plays a townie similar to Schneider's portrayal in The Waterboy, which that was pretty funny. We have uncredited cameos from Harry Dean Stanton and Cloris Leachman as well. Norm Macdonald even cameos in this film. Also, may he rest in peace. But of the whole, I found The Animal to be a real crazy film. While it's not one of the greats, but it is what I think might be a cult classic in ways. But anyway, I liked Rob Schneider. He really steals the show. Colleen Haskell's good too. So overall, I found The Animal to be a pretty funny film. Would I recommend it? Well, I'd say give it a one-time watch. If you are a fan of Rob Schneider's, then give it this a shot. A one-time watch. That is. But if you don't like it, then watch something else he was in, or watch one of the films he did with Adam Sandler. You be the judge. So what did you think of The Animal? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel, and you know the rest. Join me next time when I bring to you my May 2026 First Time Watches ranking. So if you like this channel, these other two animal type films that only involves a guy saving animals, check out my review of Ace Ventura, Pet Detective from 1994, or go to the upper right hand corner and see my review of its sequel, Ace Ventura When Nature Calls from 1995. Or if you would like, go to the bottom left hand corner and you can see my review of a film Luke Greenfield did a few years after The Animal in the raunchy comedy, which was R rated, The Girl Next Door from 2004. And the bottom right hand corner is a button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.